Hello and welcome to Quintessence Journey, where we talk about spiritual and metaphysical subjects. So, just a reminder, I will be pausing the video on and off throughout it, only because I'm not going to edit. But anyway, today we're talking about consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is an energy based on knowledge, awareness, and information. And the universe is based off this energy. So everything that exists in this universe has consciousness. So what I'm saying is, whatever you call God, whether it be God, creator, source, whatever you call God, this God is a sapient being, meaning that he functions with logic and information, facts. Also, this being, and don't take everything I say so literal, it could just be metaphors or examples. But in this case, from my perspective, I've seen this energy at work through what some of you might call the third eye. Others might call it imagination. And we'll get into that topic a little later. But I've seen this deity, this energy being, and from what I saw, it gathers up information, and once it's full of information, it's kind of like, oh, well, all this information looks good on paper. How about if we put it into play? So it kind of implodes or explodes. Let's say that it was eating up information, a better way to say it, eating up information, and then it burped, and what it burped out was the universe it created. So all the information gathered set out like this social experiment, for lack of a better word, to see how everything plays out. Everything he gathered, or it gathered, he put it into play by creating this universe. But going back to the actual topic of consciousness, in our human experience, from what I've learned, to my knowledge, there are 4 different layers to consciousness, to human consciousness. And the first layer being your primary consciousness, which is your awareness of your surroundings, and this allows you to acknowledge that, first of all, that you're alive, that you do exist, and this goes on to the second layer being your inner consciousness. Your inner consciousness is kind of like the co-pilot. It's always at work, and this is not your subconscious. That's the third layer. The third layer is the autopilot, to put it in one way. So this one's also always at work. You're going to sleep, and your subconscious is working while your body is unconscious. That's the fourth layer, unconsciousness. Which means unconsciousness is non-responsive. going back to subconsciousness. Um, when you're asleep, your mind is always at work. Everything that you've seen throughout the day stays in your mind. Um, and your subconsciousness, it creates dreams and memories. It's in charge of memories. And like I said, it's always at work. But the other one that's always at work as well is your inner consciousness. To me, inner consciousness is the co-pilot to every layer of consciousness. That one is even more at work. And to me, your inner consciousness is that voice that you talk to in your head. You don't talk to your subconscious. Your subconsciousness is just like I said earlier, the autopilot. If I said that earlier, can't remember. Short-term memory, guys. Um, but yeah, your inner consciousness. This is the voice that you talk to. Uh, the one that tells you right from wrong. It's your guide throughout life. We tend to confuse inner consciousness with subconsciousness. But this consciousness is your guide through life. While you go throughout your day, say you get in your car, you ride a bike, whatever, the conscious layer that guides you throughout your day, your physical actions, and everything that you say and do, that's guided by your primary consciousness. Like I said earlier, it's your awareness of your surroundings. I feel like I tangled myself with the information a little bit, so I hope I didn't confuse you guys. But moving on, all these layers of consciousness, they work together. Um, even your unconsciousness, when you're unconscious, you don't know what's going on, but your inner consciousness and your subconsciousness tell your body. They send signals to your body to let you know what's going on. Like, for example, they say that when you're in a coma, and I have been in a coma, it wasn't a long one, but it was indeed a coma. They say when you're in a coma that you're able to hear when you're being spoken to, and you're even aware of the movements that happen around you. In my case, I could say that's true. When I was in a coma, I remember the nurses coming in and out of the room at all times, checking in on me. And I remember my dad being there next to me. And what I was saying was your inner consciousness, your guide, you should call it your guide. That's the only guide that you need, is your inner consciousness. It sends signals to the other layers of consciousness. And your subconsciousness, this one, and again, I think I've just tangled myself with the information, but subconsciousness not only sends signals to your body, it allows you to, and I'm trying to word this correctly, um, it allows you to, I'm gonna press pause, you guys. Okay, so for lack of a better word, it allows you to stay aware, no matter what state of consciousness you're in, whether it be you're in your waking conscious, your awareness, or your unconscious state where your body isn't aware but your mind is. So that's another function for subconsciousness. It allows you to be aware. And going back a little bit to God, that inner consciousness, that's to me, that's the pure essence that's within us all. You know, you've heard people say God exists in everything that exists. It's true. God exists in everything that exists. He exists within us, and we can access that consciousness. That's actually what I use for all my energy work. Is I access that godly part of me, and to some of you that might sound um, like I have an inflated ego. That's not the case. I'm just saying that I tend to access when I work with energy and for other things as well. Um, I access that God essence within me. Now, when you access this essence, you have the key and the gate to the knowledge of the universe. What some of you might refer to as Akashic records. I believe that's what they're called, or celestial records. Um, when I tried to access Akashic records, like the actual energy of Akashic records, it was like uh, jumping through hurdles. You had to keep going through obstacles to get to the Akashic records. But I later learned that there was an easier way. Accessing that inner consciousness, that godly essence within us, already has the knowledge. If you want to know about Atlantis, boom, you got it. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do this. Um, and Emmeline, if you're watching, this is what I do to access the information instead of using tools. In the past, I did use tools like pendants, Ouija boards, tarot, and they're fun. They're super fun, and I still do it from time to time. But I prefer this method because it's easier and it's faster. So what you do is you clear your mind, first of all. Just clear your mind. Don't let anything get to you. And I could do this with my eyes open, but when you're first starting, I noticed that it's easier to close your eyes. So I'm just going to close my eyes for sake of the example. You close your eyes and you picture in the center of your chest, you picture a bubble coming out from your chest, expanding. And notice the colors. If you're able to do this, notice the colors of the bubble. To me, it's almost crystal-like with a thin layer of the colors of the rainbow, along with other colors that only exist in other dimensions. So from that point, you expand the bubble, surround it around yourself, and when I first started, I would stand in the bubble, and it feels so good to be in the bubble, to be honest. It just relaxes you. It's a pure energy that doesn't exist on Earth. Well, I'm using it, so I'm making it exist on Earth. Um, so you just feel that energy from the bubble. When I first started, I would literally ask it a question verbally. And yeah, I'm not asking it a question right now because, well, I don't know what to ask it. Um, let's go with what happened with Atlantis. And right now, this might look ridiculous to you guys, but I'm literally seeing images come up. And I'm seeing Atlantis. And I'm going to open my eyes now. I'm seeing Atlantis. It was this huge, huge community, this huge, I don't even know if I should call it a city because it wasn't really a city. It was just huge. And you have your center where they have your the city of Atlantis. I'm just gonna call it city for sake of argument. Had different rings. You have your outer ring. Let's start with the outer ring, which were like the poor class, and then you have your middle ring, and that class does a little bit better. It's your middle to low class. And then you have your third ring, that's your high class. And then you have your center ring. And those were the elites. I think I'm saying it right, elites. And in the center, they had a stone, or what it looks like a stone. It's just full of energy. When I see it, it looks red to me. And they use this energy for everything. They were very advanced, technologically speaking, as well as spiritually, and they had this stone that it was self-sustaining energy. So everything within their grasp was self-sustaining. Their water, their pollution, there was no pollution because it was just purified by this energy. But what I saw, what happened to Atlantis, that was my question. This energy, people became greedy and they wanted to do more. That's what happens usually with power. You want more of it. And this the elites, they took advantage of all that, and it caused the destruction of Atlantis. But that's how I get my information, and it takes practice. It does. And I could teach you guys a little bit more in depth, taking it step by step. So, what I do, it's, I don't know if you guys are familiar with remote sensing or remote viewing. I call it remote sensing because when you're in this state of mind, you're able to see things, whether it be on this realm or in the universe. and you're able to feel them. That's why I call it remote sensing, because you're using all your senses. So what I do is, um, you've been told that your third eye is your imagination. Well, you're probably gonna attack me, but no, that's not your imagination. Your third eye is an implant. It's an etheric implant, and that implant is meant to act as a filter. So, what I did was take out that implant. It was just blocking me. And I'll explain how to do that if you're interested later on. But I took it out, and all of a sudden, it was so much easier for me to access information. I first started with astral traveling. That's fun. And for the longest time, I couldn't do it until I took out that implant. And then I started remote viewing. Remote viewing is a lot safer. For one, you don't risk yourself being attacked um, etherically by other beings because you stay in your body. And once that implant was gone, I learned to remote view, remote sense. And it's pretty easy. All you have to do is, if you're beginning to do this, close your eyes. Just close your eyes and recall an image of something that's familiar to you, whether it be your room, your kitchen, your bathroom, whatever it may be. And then think of a place, any place at all. And when you're starting, start small. So start on this plane, start on this realm. And let's say the park across the street. I don't know where you guys live. So the park across the street. You close your eyes while you're in that familiar place, whether it be your kitchen room or restroom, wherever it may be. Then look up, and while you're still thinking of that place, the park across the street, you automatically go into that place, and you can actually see um, that place clearly. And I've done this remote viewing for a while now, and it is the most accurate thing I could have ever learned. And once you start getting a hang of it, you can go even further and explore the universe. Um, like, have you ever wondered what's the sun made out of? What's it look like? Well, you could do that. You could go into your inner consciousness, your inner mind, and look at the sun and look at the details. Go into the sun. Sounds funny, don't it? But yeah, you could go into the sun, won't get burned, and you could see the technical details of what it's made of.